Well, hey there team, welcome back to the channel and welcome to Foretales. This is the game that we're checking out today. I believe it's just come out, and lo and behold, it smacks of furry, so I've been tricked into playing a furry game straight out the bat. This seems interesting because it has some elements of sort of narrative card telling. I don't know how else to describe it other than showing you, or card storytelling rather. Makes me think of things like, I don't know, maybe not Stacklands, but perhaps a bit of Cultist Simulator, or even Banners of Ruin, the other furry card game, which is actually not bad, you know, for a furry thing. Are you sure you want to start a new game? I'm absolutely bloody positive. You better believe it. All right. What's going on? Look at this bloke. He's been on the Terps. I rate him. Get him as a channel mascot. Okay. A mysterious patron. Volpane needs money to help his father and the local miners. Boo-hoo. His friend Leo says there's someone in town with a very lucrative job offer. Okay, right. Oh yeah, give me that card. I like that. There was a card game. Here we go. I'm going on a side tangent very quickly. There was a living card game by Fantasy Flight Games of Star Wars, of all games. I wonder if it still exists. I don't even really like Star Wars that much. You know, I like the original trilogies, like a normal person, not like some sweaty super fan with 10,000 extended universe books. You know, just a normal person. And you would have cards get placed sideways, and they would be sort of like locations. You could go to the ice planet, or the bloody swamp planet where Kermit lives, you know, and sings Rainbow Connection. So you'd have the card placed sideways, and you put your... Anyway, it was cool. Anyway, I digress. Welcome to Foretales, an adventure game where you progress by combining cards and exploring decks. Okay, cool. God, look at this dude. He is packing. It's giving me early Disney vibes, which is nice. This is it, Volpane, our ticket to the easy life. One last job, and our days of stealing apples from the market are behind us. Oh, imagine that being your job. That's what you said last time. So who is this contact of yours? His name's Timothy. He said he has work for people like us. What does he mean, people like us, eh? And you're sure he can pay? Because you could really do with the money right now. Or I could do with the money right now. Don't worry, he promised a hefty reward. Should be more than enough to help your father and the miners with their strike, and for me to take an early retirement. He's just a little difficult to track down in town sometimes. We'd better ask around then.
Looks like a good place to start.
He looks like a good place to start. Good day to you, young bird. Oh, I'm the bird. I'm bloody Toucan Sam. Let's rock and roll. How can I be of assistance? We're looking for someone by the name of Timothy. Oh, I see. Very secretive fellow is he. I think I heard something about him the other day, but sadly my memory isn't what it once was. Right. And what might jog your memory, I wonder? Oh, a bite to eat usually does the trick. Okay, here goes the shakedown. About 5 bloody symbols should be sufficient. 5 symbol things? That's enough to last a few days. Ignore my friend here. We'll come back with some food for you. We already have 1 bunch of pears, just 4 to go. All right, a tip. Okay, this is cool. I like this so far. Pretty, a monkey shaking down a tiger? Absolutely, 100%. A typical region of the game is comprised, but I mean, this is not English class. This English is good enough. Of 3 to 6 location cards placed on the board. You can learn more by hovering your cursor over a card. Okay, sometimes clicking on a card will also trigger a dialogue or a reaction from your characters. Try it out for yourself. Click on the left card with the click on the left card with the beggar. It will remind you of what he wants. Oh, you mean just click him? Is that what you're saying? Would you spare a morsel of food for an old beggar? Sure. I wouldn't call 5 a morsel. This is demanding work for an old man like me. I'd like to see you try it. Yeah, you'll get your food all right. You have 2 types of action cards at your disposal. Skill cards for your adventures and consumable cards. Roger. Targets will often be located or location cards, but not always. Oh my goodness. Okay, there's a lot of writing. Walls of text. I've been tricked into playing a visual novel. When you hover over one of your cards, The possible targets are highlighted along with hints as to what will happen if you play there. So pay attention to what is highlighted and where the hints appear. Conversely, if you place your cursor over elements of the board, it will highlight the action cards that you can play there. Okay. Take a moment to explore your current cards and see if you can figure out a way to find enough food to proceed. Right. Roger. Okay. Right, so if I... Oh, hang on. Something going on. Oh, what is going on here? Peppery diversion. The perfect way to cause a commotion or incapacitate enemies in combat. So, hang on. So, interaction effects. Move to next location. Okay. Marketplace. The sights and sound. Well, hang on. What about a diversion in the marketplace? Let's do that. You've just used a skill card, but the only effect was to move to the next location in the exploration deck. It's not the most efficient way to travel, but skill cards with no effect on a particular location or encounter will at least remove this card and move the next card in the exploration deck. Oh, okay. If what you need for a mission is to reach a card somewhere in the exploration deck, moving forward is actually useful. Right, so the game's telling me, of all the choices you had, you chose wrong. You chose poorly. One very important rule to remember, you can only play one card per location on the board. Sometimes it will transform from the target card into another, whatever the fuck, but most of the time it will just consume it and travel to the next card. Oh my god. I've done degrees that are easier than this. A standard used card from the board will go back to the bottom of the exploration deck. And once a slot is finally available, it will automatically be filled with the top card from the exploration deck. You can't run out of location cards to explore because the exploration deck always cycles. Just say that, game. Concise. Come on, I'm not made of time. Alright, so what's this? Poor district. What can we do about the poor district? We can use money. I don't think so. What's this? On the scent? Right, so that cycles a thing. That's... Alright, well hang on, let's smell the poor people. Move to noisy tavern. Something smells good. Leo. What? I'm hungry. Right. Oh, and Leo got a survivor sense. There's food everywhere, if you know where to look. Oh, and you can see the little symbol. I'm pointing at my screen because I'm a bloody idiot. Right, so if I use that, I'll get 2 food. Interaction plus 2 food, move to next location. Hey, right on, I'm starving. So what's this? Oh, what's that? What is that? Oh, food. Old well, a good place to refresh oneself or make a quick wish. Alright, I could get food if I throw money in the well. No, maybe I spend food. Oh, I don't like that at all. Hang on. Nimble hands. I could pinch food off this fat fuck. Right, okay, cool. Interaction, plus 3 food. Done. Get out of here. Smooth. He didn't notice a thing. This is very cool. Oh, I think we've got enough food for now. Let's see what this guy knows. So if I were to mouse over the food... Oh wait, beware, a hostile token is blocking this card. You won't be able to play any cards on this suspicious street until you get rid of those bandits. Oh no, nasty banditos. If you left click on the token, you can see the creatures forming the group and decide whether to engage or not. Most confrontations start with a negotiation phase. If you have the correct resources, you might be able to discard this threat without any violence. But if you don't absolutely need to play a card here, you may as well avoid any conflict and play on the other cards available. And just leave it locked out, I suppose? Right. Okay, cool. So if I click on it, it will show me... Oh, look at these bloody furries. Henchman, street thug, brawler. Disgusting. Step away. No, I'd rather pay this dude. Oh, Oh, thank you, young bird. Now about this Timothy chap. But of course, where are my manners? Here, follow this path.
That should show the way.
Ooh.
Heartwarming stuff.
Heartwarming stuff. Thanks for the tip, friend. A good day to you, bird. Well, what now? I suppose we should follow the old beggar's directions on that piece of paper. Sometimes you'll have to seek directions to progress in the story and reach new destinations. Check the descriptions on your cards. Okay. That piece of paper. Yes, that one. Directions to Timothy's. The old beggar has marked the map with Timothy's location. All Volpane needs to do is find the nearest marketplace and follow the directions from there. So, rallying cry. +1 fame to a small crowd. Over here. Oh wait, no, it turns it into a small crowd, perhaps? Leo's mighty roar drew a crowd of curious townfolk. Hey, look at him. Small crowd. Curiosity may have killed the cat, but it never fails to draw a crowd. What do we reckon of this so far, team? Do we rate this game? This seems pretty cool. Aimed shot. Add 2 grim. I can fire into the crowd? Yes. That's exactly what I'm going to do. I summoned the crowd, and they're like, oh wow, famous people, and then I shot them. Classy. Better go before we attract any more attention. Oh shit, what was that? It's like the police or something. This is Grand Theft Auto. This is the marketplace. Right, so if I bung this on there,
Another job.
a heavily bandaged figure stood alone in the alleyway. He looked like he was waiting for someone. As Volpane and Leo approached, the figure turned to greet them. Oh, Leo, so you're finally here, and you brought a crow. I'm a shoe bill. Oh, but of course you are. We heard you have work. Oh, do I ever? But before we get down to brass tacks, I always like to get an understanding of who it is I'm working with. What do you mean? I'd like a demonstration of the value you'll bring to this operation. Demonstration? Oh yes, you know, skills, my boy. Show me your skills. The pair looked at each other perplexed. What does he mean, skills? Skills in combat, sleight of hand, or maybe just a good old trick shot from Leo? Oh right, I just got a bloody flex on this dude, do I? Well, here we go, let's shoot him. He'll like that. In one seamless motion, Leo pulled out his bow and let fly an arrow straight at the leper. Boo! And there we go, we've killed him. That's the end of the mission. Timothy felt a whoosh of air as his hat flew clean off his head. By the time he turned around, it was already pinned to a nearby tree. How's that for a demonstration? Yeah, have at. A little dramatic, but a fine shot nonetheless. Timothy turned around and picked up his hat and placed it carefully back on his head. Well, I've certainly seen enough to pique my interest. Then perhaps you could tell us what it was you needed. I would like for the two of you to acquire an item for me. A very rare and beautiful lyre, currently in the possession of Lady Cattell. Ah. You mean the old bat who lives up on the hill? I wouldn't call her that to her face. 10 to 1, she's actually a bat. What do you reckon? Anyway, but yes, that's her. I'd like you to break into her manor, steal the lyre, and bring it to me at the Holy Grove. The Holy Grove? I know the place well. I'll get you there myself, Volpane. Excellent! Then I shall leave you to it. Alright, well we've got a job to do. At long last, we can get straight to it if you think we're ready to go. Or we could spend some more time on the streets to prepare. It's your call. Oh, actually, how's about a small nap before we set off? You read my mind. Oh my goodness, jeez, a lot of talking, but to be honest, the banter is well written. I am enjoying this immensely. I'm gonna have a sip though. Recharge the old Scarlet batteries. Alright, remember you only have a limited number of skill cards in your adventurer's deck. Oh, how could I forget? You never told me. Oh, is that what the number is? Spending too many of their skill cards will tire them out. If you want to recover some skill cards, you'll have to use rest cards on the right side of the board. Each rest card has its own set of effects and sometimes a price that you can decide to pay or not. Read them carefully to see what they cost. Go to the rest deck and try your first rest card, okay? I guess I had to wait for that.
Told Volpan that these chaps weren't here to talk.
Right. Rest deck. What do you reckon, chat? Do we like this? Thumbs up, thumbs down? This is good so far? I think the art is incredible. The voice acting is really cool, apart from the whole furry thing. But it definitely adds personality. I can understand why a game does something like this. We also saw that with, Banners of Ruin is the other example. And I'm starting to see the reason they're doing the furry come Disney classic, with regards to sort of character design and animations. Because if they were just boring henchmen 1, 2, and 3, you probably couldn't add as much personality onto a card background, if that makes sense. Anyway, that's sort of my take. That's what I'm going with that, because I refuse to accept that people otherwise would want to manifest a bloody furry fetish. An uneventful stop. Recover up to 3 skill cards per adventure. Oh, can I? You can roll over all cards, see their effect, but you can only use the top card. Oh, right, so it can show me where it's going. Oh, hunger and hopeless. Oh, no. Well, I guess we rest.
Come on, break time's over.
Break time's over. Feeling better already. So we're up to 7 cards apiece. You recovered some skill cards and suffered no other consequences. Don't expect it to be that easy all the time. The next card in the deck will cost you food or health points. And the last card of the rest deck is always a game over. So be sure to check out how many times you can rest. Oh, so that's your doom timer, right? Okay, once you move on to the next region, the rest deck will be replaced with a new set of cards. And the number of rest cards in the next region is independent of how many you've used here. Right, okay, yeah, okay. So hoarding them doesn't really pay off. You use them as you need per area. You know what? I didn't even give the example, but Griftlands, right? Griftlands is another one that does narrative, original gameplay design with regard to deck building. Yeah, check that out if you haven't seen that before, if you haven't played that. You have completed this region. You can either proceed to the next region, or you might want to spend some more time here gathering resources. And allies, oh, beware, consumables and resources are carried over from one region to the next. But they are not carried over from one mission to the next, so there's no need to hoard excessively. Right, region complete, move on when you're ready. I'm ready, let's go. Let's click the thumb. Goodness me, this is cool. Somewhere in the garden, Leo has brought Volpain to the city gardens, where food is plentiful and secrets lurk around every corner. Deep in the labyrinth lies our hero's destination for the evening, Lady Catel's Manor. Alright, next. Cool. And if you're watching this later on YouTube, I'm actually, we're testing the waters. We're doing the variety show at the moment, so this is being recorded live. Though I think my chat is dead because they're all just sitting there hanging on every word that I say and saying absolutely nothing, that's always a good sign. Anyway, let's move on. Watch out, guards. Or watch out, guards. Oh, okay, right. Got to get that syntax correct. There are now several hostile creatures in the search party. The deck of cards representing the animals chasing your party. I guess that's this? Yeah? Yeah, there we go. Each time a new location appears on the board, if it has a search party call token with an eye, it may spawn a group of enemies from the search party. Oh, okay. Right, that's what that eye means. What do you mean may? Like it rolls a die or something like that? Thundercats, oh my goodness. Yes, that's all I can see now. This is absolutely remind me of Thundercat. Some of your actions may also add hostiles to the search party. Hostiles that you may have to face later, so be careful. This is wonderful. I use the example of sorry, pardon me, hiccups. These tabletop living card games. Again, I've been out of the board game scene for a long time because I turned into an adult. But if you're still Arrested Development, you can check it out yourself. And Fantasy Flight Games do these things called living card games. They do some really interesting ones. Some are co-op, some are competitive. There's a good Netrunner, cyberpunk sort of one. There was a Cthulhu one, if I recall, that was okay. There's a Lord of the Rings one, and that one is really cool. That's co-op, and it's you with a player across from you versus the game in the center. It's a lot like this. It's a lot like this. So at first blush, this might seem incredibly original, and it kind of is in the video game space, but this is tried and tested tabletop word to finish my sentence because I can't come up with it right now. Anyway, right then, Timothy said, right then, Timothy said the instrument is inside Lady Catel's manor. Big house with the labyrinth. That's the one. But getting through that hedge maze is going to be tough. I think I saw some gardeners wandering around earlier. Maybe they'd know the way.
Fighting the
Oh.
doesn't seem like the smartest
Bloody bad guys everywhere, man. What the hell? Vegetable labyrinth. Gardener. He knows the gardens like the back of his hand, and if you are polite, he'll even show you where all the best apples are. This writing is spot on. It's such a shame that this has become the exception to the rule, right? More often than not, modern writing is just terrible. Grim. Theft, murder. What can I do there? I can reduce my grim and gain $1. Interaction. Gardener. Consume 1 grim. Oh yeah, bugger it. Here you go, mate. I accrued that from killing people. You come with us. Now. Oh, okay. You belong to me now. Now all we need to do is lead the gardener to the labyrinth, and the rest should be easy. Oh, we'll see about that. Alright, well, I abducted a gardener, I fired into a crowd. I'm clearly the good guy. Most decks on the board can be browsed. For example, you can check the content of your exploration deck. You can see what will be the next location to be revealed. Maybe your current objective is somewhere in there. Maybe you want to check if the card you're looking for is coming soon. If a card is not in the exploration deck, there may be a way to access it with some of that's how we got the crowd, right? Doing the flippity doodah. And remember, the exploration deck is cyclical. What if we do this? Story. We have an appointment with the lady of the house. Would you show us a way through the maze? I've trimmed these hedges many a time. Follow me.
That's quite a statue.
Oh, is that a statue? Don't turn into a real spider, please. Whoa, what is it? Sorry, sirs, I'd rather not go any further. What? You're serious? We're barely halfway. It's this statue, sirs. Bad luck, it is. Haunted. The gardener backed away from the statue nervously, leaving Volpain and Leo alone. It does remind me of like a choose your own adventure sort of book, you know, like the old Fantasy Flight. Is that the one? Steve Jackson, Ian Livingstone, those ones. Even Fabled Lands, but that wasn't super mainstream. But oh my goodness, this is great. Warlock of Firetop Mountain. Oh man, take me back. They had to admit it was a rather foreboding sight. I actually really liked the Lone Wolf books. They were totally Joe Diva or whatever. But I don't think, outside of me and one of my mates growing up, I never met another soul that had heard of them. Oh, great. I think I can hear a guard patrol coming. Quick, hide.
Well, if the guards wanted a fight, they were going to get
The patrol took up position right in front of the statue. Patrols we can deal with, but how are we going to find our way through the rest of this labyrinth? There's got to be a map around here somewhere. How else do the gardeners find their way in and out? Looks like Shere Khan from Jungle Book. Spot on. I agree with that. Absolutely. That's what I was sort of saying about the term I used was Disney of yesteryear, but I don't know what else to call it, right? As opposed to all this live action remake, creatively bankrupt bullshit that we have to deal with these days. I'm talking about the wonderful animations of my childhood. Maybe you're right. Let's circle back and see if we can find a map. If at any point you're lost, you can always press the hint system. Ooh. Hovering over the button will show a very condensed reminder of your current objective. Using the hint system will trigger some help based on your current situation. Well, let's bloody stick a finger or two in. Let's see. Get through the maze. How are we going to cross that maze? Get rid of those guards first, and remember it doesn't have to be a bloodbath. Okay, cool. Right. Alright, so I just click 9! There's 9 guards! Oh. Look at this. Tell me that's not Disney. That just looks Disney to me. Even this as well. This sort of curvature of his nasal bridge. Oh, I don't know, man. It's been a million years since I've actually watched any Disney stuff. Engage. Let's go. Engage.
Nothing's worth a fight with the watch guards. Perhaps
Disney's
there's
Robin
another way.
Hood. That's exactly it. Big call. That's exactly what it is. And the thing is, that wasn't one I really like. I probably watched that once when I was, not this fucking old, but it still stuck with me. You still grow up in vicinity of all that stuff. You're heightened and aware of it. You've started your first confrontation, but maybe there's no need for violence. When you hover over the cards at your disposal, you may discover ways to get rid of some of your opponents. If you get rid of enough opponents, you'll bring the morale of the group down to 0 and the rest will flee. If you use an aggressive card, the confrontation will automatically turn into a fight. Okay, so there's sort of a negotiation, a little bit of a dance to open it up, There was for sure a Rhino Guard. You can't remember the name? Yeah, no. Well, maybe we'll get a comment at some point. But yeah, I feel like that Rhino Guard looks like something I've seen before. But same as the Shere Khan, like this thing down here, 100%. If you don't want to play any cards, click on the auto battle token to trigger the fight immediately. One of the hostiles you're facing has special powers. Dude, look at this guy. It's a ram with a fencing sword. Yeah. I mean, I just ram them with my head, but I suppose that's not very dignified in the furry community. Special powers are signified by wooden tokens on the left side of the creature cards. I see. Enemy powers can be triggered. It can trigger during the negotiation phase or during combat. They may trigger once every few rounds. If you hover over a creature card, you'll see a detailed description of its powers. Right, so morale token. Oh, so that's the... Right, okay, so if we knock out... Drop that to 0, they'll flee. And then this is the auto battle token. We don't want to touch that. Okay. Alright, so hang on. And if you mouse over them, it highlights the shit that you can interact with, which is wonderful. That's very... cultist simulator. Alright, hang on. -2. Oh, there's a doubling amount. Right, so if we want to try and make them flee, we probably want to take out one of these stacks and this bloke on the end, right? So let's do Grim.
Oh, bad to the
An enemy was just removed from the confrontation. In most cases, this will subtract its level from the enemy's morale. Should the enemy morale reach 0, the remaining hostiles will flee. Level of an enemy is the number at the top left corner of the card. Right, so we intimidated this dude and he ran away. This is wonderful. Oh, I could throw food at him and he'll be a greedy guts and he'll run off. What else can we do here? Oh, okay, so that would initiate the combat, wouldn't it? Solidarity of the weak. What is this? The poor, the weak, the needy must stick together to survive. Oh, yeah, whatever. Volpain can inspire compassion to attract potential allies. So we can... Okay, I want no part of that. So we've convinced him to leave because he's a shit kicker as well. I understand. Oh, and then I drew a card to replace it. Alright, how do we get rid of Rhino Man? That's what we really want to do. Hang on, 3 damage, aimed shot. Now, okay, here's the thing that we're not super clear on. Because they said this will start combat, but it will kill him, right? 3 health. So what if I do that? Will it end will it drop the morale to 0? Let's find out. Take this. Now, morale, go. And then flee. No combat. And I got a grim. You brought the enemy morale to 0. All remaining hostiles will now flee for their lives. When you trigger a panic, each fleeing enemy will grant you 1, it was like fame, whatever their level. This game is magic. This is wonderful. It's funny that I was playing a Disney game. And this, well, I don't want to say that didn't feel like a Disney game, because I thought that was an actual alright game, if a bit thin on the gameplay loop, right? But if you told me this was a Robin Hood Disney game, not only would I believe you, I would say this is doing true homage to a very near and dear title to many. Like, do you know what I mean? This truly does feel like a game of, like an actual Disney game, and this is wonderful. One thing I would say, not that Disney's going to watch my bloody channel or anything like that, but they're obviously dipping their toes into the video game market, what with Disney Princess bloody Stardew Valley, whatever the fuck it's called, right? Maybe they see this game, and maybe they adopt this gameplay styling and loop. Because this is, like, I'm not necessarily saying they should do that. I wish nothing but success upon this small developer, obviously. But if I worked for Disney and I was in their sort of marketing or project speculation, whatever you'd call it, right? I was going to say delivery, but that's the wrong end of the life cycle. But if I was in some sort of, whiteboard room that comes up with new directions and ideas, oh man, I would be floating this at the next team meeting, 100%. Using the hint system multiple times may give more explicit help for more complex situations, right? Now, is it infinite hints? I kind of respect that, right? People talk about easy modes and all this sort of shit, and in a game with like this where sometimes I've talked about how I hate Monkey Island games and those classic adventures. Like, as I get older, I kind of hate them more just because you needed a guide to get through them, because their riddles and their bullshit puzzles were unsolvable unless you were inside the dev team, right? So when it comes to these things that are in the grey, and it's not necessarily 1 + 1 = 2, and it's more problem solving, I do respect an infinite well of hints to help people at all levels through. I think that's great, because the real challenge then is to restrain yourself and use as little hints as you possibly can. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, look, I'm enjoying myself immensely, but I've come to time showing this game. So this game is absolutely wonderful. I think you should check it out. It's out now on Steam. I'd be curious to hear what people have to say about it. Let me know in the comments section what your thoughts are. Does this remind you of Disney as well? But yeah, we're going to put a pin in it there for the moment. So team, thanks again for joining me. We might just leave it there for the time being, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.